Inc. podcast. I'm Glenn Rubenstein, joined by Raj Giri. Mr. Matt Morgan will be along in a little bit. And tonight we're going to talk about Extreme Rules 2017. Just got done June 4th, 2017. Just wrapped on the East Coast. And Raj, we got a new number one contender. It's Samoa Joe.
Yeah, new number one contender, which was a really good match and 2 title changes. So,
yeah.
I guess you could say it was eventful. It didn't really feel like it, until the main event, but
it also didn't feel very extreme. Although I will say I know I was concerned about this. It was sponsored by Mountain Dew, so at least there's that.
So there is some extreme there.
There is some.
Yeah, they need to drop this title because the Extreme Rules moniker doesn't work anymore. I mean, it's better than Great Balls of Fire, but
and they got the song. I guess you can't call it that without licensing the song.
Yeah, there's nothing remotely extreme about this show anymore.
Yeah, kind of crazy. So let's start with the pre-show, which David Otunga was back with Sam Roberts and Renee Young doing the kickoff, which, even Booker Booker obviously throwing some shade at Otunga since he's filling in for him on Raw, but Otunga's not going to be back on Raw for a while still, right?
Yeah, no, they said Booker's supposed to be on through the summer, which kind of makes me wonder if he's just on, like if they're going to even bring Otunga back.
Yeah, I don't know. Tonight on the pre-show, it was something.
I mean, Booker T is so much better.
Oh, 100%.
So I mean, I think it's a good decision if they stick with it.
Yeah. So during the kickoff show, was this announced before? Kalisto versus Apollo Crews?
It was announced today. It was announced earlier today. Yeah.
Very last minute. So Apollo, of course, representing the Titus brand, going up against Kalisto. And what do you make of this? This is kind of the same problem we talked about with Dean and The Miz. You can't bring these guys over from SmackDown and keep them going against each other. I mean, what do you think of this angle and how they're doing it?
I mean, I don't find this angle boring. At least it's giving them something to do. But beating Apollo twice by Kalisto, it does him no favors. And it just gives that impression in people's eyes that he's kind of a loser. And Titus beat Kalisto. Was it last week? So I don't think it helps him to keep losing. He should have really gotten the win here.
Yeah,
and like maybe it's a slow build. They start getting Apollo more vicious, and then he starts getting his wins. And if they do that, and they do it right, then it'd be worth it. But I don't have much faith with this creative team. I
was gonna say slow build towards what? Like greater mediocrity?
To him being a vicious heel, or more vicious at least.
I think we're gonna end up with like Titus versus Apollo out of this.
Gosh, I hope not. Yeah. But it could be.
I like the finish, what they did with Kalisto kicking Titus in the face, and then that whole sequence of events I thought was great. Mr. Matt Morgan joining us, just talking about Kalisto versus Apollo Crews. What'd you think of that kickoff match tonight? Did you watch it?
I didn't see the kickoff show, but I wanted to see. Can you guys? Do I sound any different with this headset on, or no?
Yeah, it's pretty clear actually.
Okay. Yeah, it sounds better.
No, I missed the kickoff show. Sorry.
All right, you didn't miss much.
Yeah, the return of David Otunga and Titus O'Neil got kicked in the face by Kalisto.
So Kalisto beat Apollo Crews again. So that was about it.
Yeah. Opening the show proper, they opened with the Intercontinental title match, The Miz versus Dean Ambrose. What'd you think of that, Matt?
Loved it. What a hell of a story, huh?
Yeah,
that was a great story. They had the crowd totally on their feet with a lot of that match, and through the basic storytelling aspect of it. Do you know what I mean? Like just think about how cheesy that could have been perceived, like with a smack to the face, and Miz's attempts to get to get a DQ win and things like that. That could have turned out like but like the crowd bit on every one of those really, really, really hard.
We've talked a lot before, Matt, and you've given us a lot of insight into how matches are planned and worked. But when you're doing something like this, how much work do you do with the ref to go through these steps if you're going to do more complicated distractions like that?
Very, very much so. We definitely set that up beforehand and go over it with the ref to make sure. We try to incorporate the ref as much as you can, even if there's not much that they're up to. Just at least let them know the finish and things like that. But if something that's like heavy, like tonight, where they're involved, then you got to really get with them.
Yeah, I thought the ending was really well done. The ref almost seemed heelish by the end, but
He did. He was very aggressive.
yeah. And then it's like, oh, I'm going to disqualify you. Oh, but now that Miz has got you beat, I'll just count the pin. You know, it was kind of a heel move, but I liked it. I thought that ending sequence was really good, and the right guy won. Yeah. I mean, Ambrose hasn't done much as Intercontinental champ, and Miz just does a lot more with it.
So who does the Miz go against now? Who's the Miz going to face going forward? Do you guys have a preference or a prediction?
I got no idea.
I'm guessing it's probably going to be Ambrose.
Make it stop. This is doing neither of them any favors. Both of them could be used to build somebody else. You know?
No, I agree. But and who knows? Maybe Finn Balor, because Balor's been beaten 3 times already since he's been back. So he's not at that he's not going to be in the world title level right now. So it gives him something.
Yeah. Well, we'll see. We'll see what happens there. But the Miz is once again the Intercontinental Champion. After that, Rich Swann and Sasha Banks versus Noam Dar and Alicia Fox. What'd you think of this, Matt, and the way that they did the mixed gender tag?
I thought they did it well. I thought they did a good job. I'm not sure how I feel about how quickly the match started. Like immediately they started into spots. Like immediately they were hitting ropes. Like no lockup, nothing. But maybe that's what it needed because the crowd was pretty loud for this. I thought, and versus the other cruiserweight match, it was.
Yeah, and they didn't have much time, so because it was a pretty short match. So, yeah, I mean, it was what it was. Kind of a complete filler. I mean, I already forgot it. What color ropes did they end up using? I'm already forgetting. Did they use the purple? They did red.
They did red. Yeah.
All right.
Well, good for the cruiserweights. They get a match with the red ropes for a change.
I wonder if that threw them off at all.
Yeah. Man, she's trying. She's really trying to sell this position. I mean, she looks into it. She's giving it her all. I'll give her that at least.
She's trying to make chicken salad out of it.
Yeah.
She shouldn't be in it at all.
Well, and I don't think she will be for long because I think I'm guessing she's out of the picture for a bit with how she's been destroyed the last month and a half. So, I mean, Sasha seems like the next logical challenger for Alexa, but we'll get to that.
Yeah. But first, we have to talk about that. I was even going to try and mock and be like, awesome segment. Let's just say, let's talk about that segment with Elias Samson. Matt, when's the last time, or Raj, you might know this, when's the last time they did something like this at a pay-per-view to give that spotlight to a performer who didn't have a match?
They'll do that here and there. I thought it was good in the sense it got him heel heat. The crowd was booing him hard, and I gotta say this was one of the best WWE crowds they've had in a while tonight. They were pretty hot most of the night, and so I mean they ended 15 minutes early as it was. So I mean I would have rather had him do a squash match or something, but it was something. It didn't bother me.
Yeah, maybe they put him back and do it with Dean.
Yeah, they could do that. What do you think, Matt?
A different way to get him over. I don't think they always have to have a match. Something different. You know what I mean? He's on the pay-per-view. Looks important. It looks like they're trying to do something with him at least to some degree. So I'm still waiting and seeing because I like his look. I like his in-ring work a lot. I like his intensity. I don't know. It's not about music and wrestling. I think it's super friggin' dated and corny.
Yeah, it does come across as kind of a B-level gimmick.
I don't know what it is. You know what I mean? I just have never been a fan of it. I think like Honky Tonk was like my last guy I gave a chance to.
Well, who has gotten over at like the top level with that? Like since Honky Tonk. Even Honky Tonk wasn't like a main eventer. He was a very top level mid card guy, but
no, I'll tell you the last guy that got over with the music chick was Mr. John Cena with the freestyle rapping.
Yeah, that's a little different.
Yeah, that's different. You know what I mean? The guitar shit. Jeff Jarrett maybe back in the day, but I don't know.
Right, because Cena would rap, but his gimmick wasn't that he was. I don't know.
I mean, kinda. I mean, he raps his own theme, and that was a big deal when it first happened because it was like, here's a younger guy who's coming out and doing this.
Well, I put it out there for you. I narrowed it down, guys. You know what we're talking about. Guitar wearing and singing dude coming to the ring. There's been a million.
Because I think Double J, no offense to Jeff Jarrett, but you know, when he had the whole guitar thing, it was kind of cheesy, especially when he had the flashing coat and stuff. So, yeah.
Well, you like that? I like that. I like the hat and glasses. I thought it was cool.
But in this case, I don't know. I mean, the music doesn't even sound like they put much effort into it. I mean, he comes out, he sings a song bashing the town. I mean, there's nothing. I think if music is going to be your gimmick, at least make it sound like you put some thought into the music. I think that's why I think these things die.
I didn't think it died though. Like the crowd was pretty hot at him for it.
Yeah, that was the biggest spot he's been given.
Yeah.
Okay, so let's talk about kendo stick on a pole.
Well, they did that backstage interview with Bayley.
Yeah, talking about the preparation for it, watching Tommy Dreamer matches, and she was going to get extreme.
She got booed something fierce back here.
She should have. That was the shittiest and most annoying promo ever. I hated that promo with so much veracity.
Remember how we were talking about when she came on the main roster, how she's so easy to book and you don't have to do all that much, and she's got this great character, and man, they have just destroyed this poor girl.
Yeah, they did. They definitely did.
And she got booed even before the match. I mean, and during her entrance, I mean, people were on Alexa Bliss's side.
How could you cheer for that? Mid promo, you could hear them turn on her.
Oh yeah.
I mean, how could you cheer for that?
Right.
She's super corny.
I think now this is the only thing I will say, giving the benefit of the doubt, is that they're trying to reset her back to an NXT point where they can have it be more meaningful when she does a comeback towards SummerSlam. Like, that's the only thing I could think of. Because even with
there's not that much time between now to do that, to get, go down and get back up.
Yeah, no, you're right. But I mean, that's the only reason I could think they're doing it, unless they're just trying to bury her. I mean,
it's one thing to build her up back as an underdog, but they have gotten the fans to turn on her, which is not what you want to do if that's what you're trying to do in that situation. You want the fans to stay with her and want her to rise back up. But yeah, she got destroyed something fierce here.
Yeah, that match with Alexa was fast tonight. What did you make of that, Matt? Just the quickness of the match, the outcome, the incorporation of the kendo stick, all of it just sort of thumbs down from you.
I didn't want to see it to be. I didn't want to see it to begin with. I didn't want to see two little. I hate to say little girls because they're young women, but I didn't want to see two young women smacking themselves around the ring with kendo sticks and crap like that. I don't know why. It just wasn't intriguing to me from the beginning. Maybe because I know this is not in either one of their wheelhouses. You know what I mean? These are very far stretches for both of these characters. And you use something like this in a very heated rivalry that's been going on for quite a long time. Not two women in a lukewarm angle. Do you know what I mean? There's no. I don't hate Alexa Bliss enough to see the comeuppance be kendo sticks to the dome. See what I'm saying?
Yeah.
But what do you think of? So Alexa Bliss, did she beat Bayley clean at the last pay-per-view? I can't remember if it was clean or not. I think it was.
I don't remember.
But the next night on Raw, she pinned her in a tag match. Has pretty much beat the crap out of Bayley every week on Raw. Always gets the better of their exchanges. And then tonight, Bayley gets the kendo stick. Is too stupid to use it. Alexa gets it, beats the crap out of her, and then just pins her clean. It's like. If this was 20 years ago, you would think that Bayley is going to WCW, like the way they were. I mean, it was a pretty strong burial, I thought.
But she didn't use the stick. So I feel like they're still trying to preserve her character for whatever reason.
Well, the fans are turning on her more every week. So whatever they're doing isn't right.
Yeah, it's tough. It's tough to watch just this continue to happen with her. So in a second, we're going to talk about Cesaro and Sheamus becoming the new Raw Tag Team Champions, winning against the Hardys in a steel cage match. But first, I want to give a little love to a sponsor of this episode, DDP Yoga. First, talk about it before, used by the likes of Chris Jericho, AJ Styles, Mick Foley, and tons of other stars who love using DDPY as part of their health and exercise regimen. And for a limited time, we've got a deal for you. You can get access to the DDP Yoga Now app for 25% off, or you can get the DDPY DVDs for 25% off, and that includes 3 months of full access to the DDP Yoga Now app. You can also buy a max or combo pack at 25% off and get 50% off the second one. Head on over to our link at ddpyoga.com/wrestlinginc. That's ddpyoga.com/wrestlinginc to take advantage of these offers. And you've heard us talk about it, all the inspirational stories of people, not just professional wrestlers, but people, regular folks, wrestling fans who have turned around their lives, turned around their health, lost incredible amounts of weight, gotten in the best shape of their lives using DDPY. You can do it too. Take control of your health, take control of your life with DDP Yoga. Go to ddpyoga.com/wrestlinginc, and we thank them for sponsoring the show. So we said it had to happen tonight. Cesaro and Sheamus had to beat the Hardys after losing in every different configuration leading up to this. Matt, were you satisfied with the way the match unfolded tonight?
With the finish being who went over, sure. I'm still not satisfied with Cesaro. I've talked to you guys about this, ad nauseum. I want to know more about the two of them, not just coming out in cool looking kilts or whatever the hell they're doing. And now they're heels and we're supposed to boom. I want to know, like, Shoot is thinking. He's got to be pissed. I mean, granted, he's a tag champion. He should be happy, but he's got to be pissed. This dude was a main event act going for the title many, many times. And Cesaro right at the precipice of getting to that level one day as well. And no, tag division. Nowadays, for whatever rhyme or reason, we shouldn't think this way, by the way, but we do as wrestlers. I don't know why, we just do. When you get, the word is almost relegated back to the tag division when creative still thinks you're, they still want you on TV because you still have some sort of, I don't want to say drawing power, but star power to that effect. But yet they don't have you in a singles feud or anything of that nature that you deem more important. And when that happens, it could play tricks on your mind as a wrestler, and it could screw with your head, especially if it lasts so long. I want to know what's going on inside Sheamus's head. I really, really do, because I think he's got some good promo stuck in there somewhere.
Yeah, I mean, there's a lot they could do with that. But, we've discussed that there's a lot they could do with a lot of these storylines that they don't end up, they just stick with the formula. So
just need to know more about them. That's all.
Yeah, no, I agree.
Which is weird because I felt like we got a lot of segments and vignettes with them backstage when they were paired up. One, when they were in that best of 7 series, but then when they first were paired as a tag team as faces, there was a lot of attention given to that story. So it's weird that they turned heel.
Mick was on it.
Yeah.
It's because it was Mick's big idea, yada, yada, yada.
Yeah. Yeah, well, we'll see.
But that being said, I'm guessing this continues,
rematch tomorrow night
or the next pay-per-view. So
what about Top Guys? Where are they?
Who's that?
The Revival.
Top Guys. Revival.
No, the Revival. They should be back soon. But they're heels, so them feuding with Sheamus and Cesaro doesn't really work. So I'm guessing.
I was thinking
you were thinking the Hardys.
Yeah.
Yeah, so that's what I was going to say. I think the Hardys probably win it back at the next pay-per-view and then feud with the Revival and wrestle the Revival at SummerSlam.
That'd be great. I'd love to see that.
Yeah, except I just think there's so much more value in those guys as singles. And really, they can just put Jeff Hardy in the main event scene at any time because he's already, fans already see him at that level.
I agree.
Yeah, I thought the match was okay. But I mean, results aside, I thought the match was okay. And
the match wasn't the crazy spot fest you'd probably expect with the Hardys, but I thought it was good.
So we talked about how that almost had to happen tonight of Sheamus and Cesaro winning. The other thing that we were talking about almost had to happen tonight was Austin Aries going over Neville, and that did not happen. What'd you think of the match, Matt? And do you even believe now a matchup against the two going forward, given that Aries has lost every time?
Here's the thing. I go along with you when we say, hey, the formula says this guy must win next week. I hope the fans understand those are coincidences. That's not a real thing. WWE doesn't have a chalkboard where it says this guy won exactly this many matches, so therefore he's due a win now. It's not like that. It's literally the feel in that creative meeting heading into that production, or in that production meeting, I should say, the day of the show. They have an idea going into it, but then sometimes shit changes in that production meeting. Most of the time it does. It's like 50-50 opportunity in changing the finish for that matter. And we saw it with 2 matches tonight, not just the Aries match, but later on with Joe. So like, I hope fans understand, like we're kind of tongue-in-cheeking when we're saying the WWE formula therefore states this guy will win. You know?
But it did happen here. Because
no, it didn't.
Yeah,
Joe. No, you said Joe has no chance of winning.
No, I said Aries submitted Neville on Raw, and Neville beat him tonight.
And Joe
didn't get beat or anything. But yeah, that one didn't go by any formula. But Joe didn't get pinned.
There is no formula. That's not real.
No, but obviously they're not, it's not like. But it does happen way more often than not.
It does, and it's called a coincidence. Coincidences.
I don't
Yeah.
think so.
Chalkboard sitting there will go, well, this guy needs a win now, so we're just going to give him a win. It's judged off of what's going on with the audience, what's going on with who's hot, it's going on with who might be injured. We don't even know. Millions of different things get thrown into this.
I'm sure. Obviously, but more often than not, the guy. If a guy gets beat, that's facing the same guy at the pay-per-view the week before, the other guy wins. I mean, we'll start keeping track.
I'm just saying.
I would dare say it's probably like 60, maybe 70% with what you're saying. Yes. Yeah. But it's. I'm promising you, it's coincidence. It's not like
I'm not saying that I'm not saying they live by that at all.
Because the fans are going to start thinking like, oh, they're going to blow up your. They're going to blow. I'm surprised they don't blow up your timeline already. This. Well, according to your formula,
right. Yeah. We're saying that prediction-wise, we're just guessing at who's winning.
This feud has gone on now for what feels like so long. I know it's been since WrestleMania that they've had these title opportunities, but there was a good, healthy build-up to that. I just think that Aries came in looking like a rock star into the Cruiserweight division. He's been in this feud with Neville, and he keeps losing every time it matters.
Yeah, and the crowd was cold. For him tonight too.
Yeah,
and it sucks because this match was great.
Fantastic.
I really liked it.
Yeah, it was.
I mean, I loved Aries tapping him out outside the ring. They did some stupid stuff. The referee is like counting him out. It's like it's a submission match. What the count out doesn't do anything. You know, he did it twice.
Yeah,
and making them break the ropes. It's anyway, but Neville getting the win. Neville's been hot. I think in many ways, I think he's the best heel WWE has right now. Because if you ever see these media interviews he does, like for these newspapers and stuff, he doesn't get out of character. He stays in character, and he stays like this.
Does he sound corny doing it though? Does he sound cheesy 80s guy doing it?
No. He's not like it's not like over the top. He's just kind of prickish, And yeah, I think it's been great.
He's a good heel. I just think with Aries, I think Aries needs the credibility of a win at this point. I
mean, I don't see how they keep this continuing now. I mean, it's already been 3 pay-per-views.
Well, Great Balls of Fire's 5 weeks away, so
maybe Aries says one last chance, or I'll retire, or something like that.
Could be a good way to do it. So we saw the promo for Great Balls of Fire tonight.
They're actually using the song.
And the original version. They didn't even pay less to get a cover version. That was actually Jerry Lee Lewis. But man, this, like, even the imagery they're using for this, like, I guess credit to them for doing something so badass crazy for a pay-per-view, but this is off the wall as a choice.
I liked it. I thought it was pretty cool.
And that song has had a huge effect on wrestling. Ric Flair says that's where he got the woo from. Was from that song. So, I don't know, a little bit of trivia there, but it's never gonna. I'm never gonna like the name of that pay-per-view, but it doesn't sound quite as ridiculous as it did at first. It's kind of gotten used to it a little bit.
Yeah, I mean, it's been run into the ground, so we'll see. Can't believe still over a month away. So tonight we determined who's going to face Brock Lesnar at Great Balls of Fire in an Extreme Rules Fatal 5-Way to crown the new #1 contender. Bray Wyatt versus Seth Rollins versus Samoa Joe versus Roman Reigns versus Finn Balor. The match lasted about 40 minutes. That's after discounting all the time for entrances, and it ended with Samoa Joe putting Finn into a coquina clutch and choking him out. So got a new contender. Matt, what did you think of the match itself for the 5-way?
Crazy good. Holy crap. You talk about a main event, like, good God. That whole match, every friggin' minute of it, I liked. You know what I mean?
Mm-hmm.
But I'm really excited for Joe. I'm excited actually for the matchup. You know, we didn't really get a chance to talk too much about this. We didn't have enough time last week, but we're talking about how everybody looks like a bunch of little kids, and then there's Brock Lesnar.
Yeah.
Samoa Joe, with the way he works and everything he does, is so damn believable in that ring. I cannot wait to see that matchup. Like, I cannot wait to see Brock versus Joe and the cool things they're going to be able to do together. And mark my words, Joe is not going to get eaten up and look like some little kid in the ring with him. I promise you that. And it's going to make for a really cool story that they're going to tell. And it's going to make for some really hard hitting, strong style, great psychology, realistic looking stuff versus some, little friggin' kid ducking two and coming off the ropes and hitting a flying Walanda to stumble Brock back, and then coming off the top rope with the missile drop kick. Finally, the beast is down. He's out of the ring, but he's still on his feet. Smash mouth for smash mouth with him, and it's going to be believable.
I mean, I agree with everything you just said. I think it's going to be an awesome match. Yeah, I don't think Brock's going to run through him. My issue is I just think it's too soon. I think I would have liked to have seen Joe get more of a build up and build to more of a long-term feud, because this is
a perfect world.
Yeah, because this is a one and done. Brock is moving to Braun Strowman the month after, so he's pretty much guaranteed to beat Joe clean. I'd have liked to see it be this, you build Joe up for a while, and then it's like these two monsters, and you finally have them go at it, as opposed to Joe won a match and he gets his shot at Lesnar. So in that respect, I would have gone with someone else, but because and that's just because I think Joe and Lesnar has the potential to be a huge feud. And
that's a WrestleMania match, man. If they did it right, let Joe be Joe, the Joe that we know.
Yeah. You give him the right booking and everything. Yeah. But that being said, I think the next month should be very entertaining, and it'll be interesting, like their promos and everything heading into this match, because Joe doesn't look like a kid next to Lesnar, like Finn Balor kind of does. So
yeah.
So do you think we're going to get, in the build up to this, maybe Joe versus Finn for a little bit, or do you think they'll wait to kick back into that?
No, I mean, I think they're going straight to
just
Joe
building
versus
up
Lesnar.
Joe versus Brock for 5 weeks. Cool.
Yeah, because Brock is back a week from Monday, right? So, yeah, I mean, they don't have enough time to do one feud and then get to it. You got 5 weeks. So,
I'm interested to see about the other guys, like what happens to all of them. The other four.
Yeah, Finn. Like I said, they've beaten him 3 times already. Yeah, so it could be. They were having him with Bray. They could go back. They could still stick with that, but they had teased something.
The fans were really
What's that, Matt?
The fans were really sorry. You guys are going in and out. I apologize. The fans feel him big time right now. At least in Maryland, they sure as hell did tonight. His aggressiveness. Did you guys notice the gear? They were finally commenting on it, actually, so you couldn't have missed it. But did you see his gear shifting finally? His intensity is picked up immensely.
Yeah.
He didn't have that before he got injured. He wasn't doing that.
Yeah.
I don't know what else. I guess they weren't ready for him to go over on Brock is all I can think of, but because he's there. He's there as a main event act right now as far as his work goes and feeling out who he is right now. My question is this. What is up with the Demon? Is the Demon no more?
I think even WWE acknowledges now that these pay-per-views aren't major pay-per-views, and it's just like SummerSlam, WrestleMania, Survivor Series, and Royal Rumble. And I guess Finn will just wear it for those, I guess. I know a lot of people, when they started that entrance, I think a lot of people were kind of thinking he was going to bring out the Demon. And I still think he should just have it every week. Maybe you don't have to do the whole body paint, but just the face. But really? It's not that. Why not?
Got kind of gold dust.
He's so different. He's so different right away, man. It's cool. It's so different.
The paint, right?
Yeah.
Yeah, I mean, I think it just makes him really stand out. And you know, him coming out with just flicking the collar on his jacket.
Do you think that's cool? I was going to ask you guys that. Do you think that's cool when you see a guy do that?
It's very Bonds.
Yeah.
He
kinda,
looks.
yeah, exactly.
What was it like we used to see in the movies in the 80s every time like the women would go to Chippendales or something? It's very that kind of look, you know? Just sort of like male.
But Glenn, why don't
T-Birds from Greece?
Yeah.
But Glenn, why don't you think he should do the just do the demon thing all the time?
Yeah, I think you should have a version of it that's still because one, I think honestly, and this is no offense to Goldust, you know, I love Goldust. We talked about Goldust. I think like Dustin Runnels at the time he was doing it looked better in the makeup than out of the makeup. Finn has been acknowledged as a good-looking guy, someone that's very charismatic that they want to push. I mean, I think he should do a reduced version of it all the time, maybe something around the eyes, like a scaled back version of the makeup. But I think full makeup all the time is a mistake. Like cutting promos and things like that.
I think you could do full. You know, it's like all those guys where at the pay-per-view they bump it up, they go extra. But you know, it's like Undertaker. You know, he'll have the regular look, but on the pay-per-views, you know, he does it up and does something grander. I think you do that with Finn. You know, just do the face paint. I don't think the looks matter. I don't think that's changing his merch or anything.
Yeah.
Though.
And the people coming to see him are not wearing leather coats with collars. They're painting their faces.
Right. Yeah. The you know, the merchandise and everything, there's just so much money in that you could, you know, so much you can do. And by not having that on at all, it's just a wasted opportunity.
Well, you know, they'll probably feud him with Bray and then he'll have some change where he's the demon full time because somehow Bray brought it out of him.
That would be cool. At least that would be cool. Something.
Yeah, if they give it a story like if they give it a story like that, I'm 100% on board with it. But I think just showing out the makeup would be kind of arbitrary at this point.
Yeah, and especially I guess since he wasn't winning tonight, but
yeah, I thought the match was great. Love the spots. Good. Well done.
Match was really good.
You know, was not.
Although you guys remember when you said, hey, do you guys sometimes do spots in matches to see how they work out on TV and then take it into a pay-per-view? And I was like, usually more on house shows than anything. Well, Tonight, if you caught it, there's no sell the buckle bomb and come out with the Superman punch again.
Yeah. I thought it was better on Raw.
Same reaction.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Because they had seen it.
It was better on Raw and plus. Go ahead.
Yeah, I was saying, and they seen it just a week ago. So what you don't get that holy crap reaction. Yeah.
I'm surprised to see him do that. Yeah.
Well, there's a lot of potential now, especially if they break up. If tomorrow night, if they do a rematch between Dean and The Miz, and after that separate them up, we have unlimited possibilities with where they can go story-wise from here with these guys.
6 guys, right? We got 6 guys on that level, basically, right?
Yeah, if you throw The Miz in there. And like you said, you could do Elias Samson with Ambrose since they had already kind of teased a feud. So
I think it's what the WWE needs. It's what Raw needs right now. It needs a real, a true shakeup of the storylines to keep it interesting.
I guess you got 7 because now Brock is back and he's there with Joe. So it's more where they go with Rollins, Reigns, Bray, and Finn.
Well, that's 8 with Bro.
Yeah.
We'll see, man. So all in all,
where do you think who with Roman? Who should he go with?
He needs to go home. That's where he should go, home.
Well, they're probably not doing that. So. But seriously, like,
do you hear their comments? By the way, did you hear Corey's comments of going like, "Never bet against the big dog," like half laughing.
Oh no,
loses.
Yeah.
Go ahead. Go with honest.
Yeah.
Oof. Babyface.
Maybe with Rollins because Bray has been done 1,000 times. I don't want to see Roman and Bray again.
Is it Finn?
Oh. Maybe The Miz. So that would be interesting.
That'd be great for The Miz.
It would be great for The Miz. There were rumors earlier this summer that they were thinking about it. So,
man, talk about a way to get The Miz further over though with the internet wrestling community.
He will light him up.
Yeah.
On the mic. Oh my God, I actually really want to see this now.
That'd be fantastic.
Yeah.
Tomorrow night, we'll know more. Monday Night Raw, and we'll be here to discuss it all immediately after it ends on the East Coast. So your final thoughts for tonight, Matt, and, before we got on here, I think during Raj was saying they just need to retire the name Extreme Rules. Did you think tonight was extreme in the least?
No. No, I did not. No, but I give them can I give you my grade? I give them a C+.
Oh.
Tonight's show. I like tonight's show for the most part. I really did.
Yeah, I thought the main event definitely made up for it. There wasn't anything I thought that was really bad on the show. Alexa versus Bailey was more like nothing as opposed to bad. And same as the Rich Swann Sasha Banks match. But it was fine. I wasn't particularly into it until the main event. I thought the main event was outstanding. So for that, I'd probably give it a B-. But yeah, extreme, man. They have watered that word down. I think they should just drop it. Come up with one of the other words that one of the other terms that they've had in the past. You get Great American Bash. That was such a cool pay-per-view name.
Yeah.
But what gives you the blanket of these are all going to be hardcore type of matches?
What do you mean?
If you don't have that, if you don't have Extreme Rules as the name, and you call it, I don't know, what'd you call it?
Great American Bash.
Great American Bash. That doesn't insinuate all those matches are going to have some sort of gimmick or some sort of weapon or some sort of extreme type of thing.
But none of them tonight did.
Well, they did,
except for the steel cage. I mean, that was the only extreme. The thing you could really consider extreme, or I guess a kendo stick. But the
kendo stick should have been.
Yeah, but you could have easily. Man. I mean, you have Great American Bash. You could still do a steel cage match, and you could just as easily. None of those steps were really extreme. The main event was just a fatal 5-way, and those are always no DQ anyway.
I mean, let's look for a second at the original Extreme Rules 2009. Okay. The first pay-per-view. So opened with a tag team match, and then there was a fatal 4-way for the US championship. Then there was a no holds barred match for the IC championship. Then there was a Samoan strap match, a hardcore match for ECW, a hog pen match for the title of Miss WrestleMania. Oh, how things have changed in less than a decade. A steel cage match for the championship, a submission match, a ladder match, and then just regular singles match for the World Heavyweight Championship.
So you had like 5 matches that you just listed right there that had the potential to be really violent. So, it's a PG environment. They can't do violence, or anything too violent. So I don't know. You just don't need this pay-per-view anymore.
Yeah. So let's take some questions from the audience. We got some time.
I mean, we got some time.
We got time.
Matt's like, I got a job. I got to train.
What kind of crap is it? No, I'm joking. Go ahead.
Someone's asking if Hideo Itami is going to the Cruiserweights. What do you do with Hideo Itami now? I do think he's too small for the main roster. For the guys on there, and doesn't stand out enough to be, to be a big player there.
I don't see the difference between him and who's the Japanese guy that Brian Kendrick was just working?
Tozawa.
Yeah, I know he's a bigger star than Tozawa. I know that. I worked Kenta when he was in Japan, but here and how they presented him and how over he is or isn't, I just don't see him as. I don't know. He comes to the Cruiserweight. He's just going to be.
Yeah,
he would be really lost in the shuffle if he didn't go to the Cruiserweight. Let's just put it that way. So he goes to the Cruiserweight, and I still think he's just going to be another guy, like toward the top, but middle of the pack to the upper echelon, I'd say, of the pack.
I think he's going to look at this jump to WWE as the biggest mistake of his career. His huge name in Japan. Man. I mean, gigantic following. CM Punk's ripping off his move, and here he is now.
And the crappy thing is that injury. Mm-hmm. Who's to say if he didn't get injured?
Right.
Those guys would not have bypassed him. They were not on track to.
Right. Yeah.
Guys got signed and came in and bypassed him.
He's gotten hurt a couple times. It's too bad.
And it's too bad too because with that angle with Bobby Roode for the NXT Championship, I mean that angle is fantastic, and the fact that they didn't really play that to its fullest and he lost just kind of shows that there's no momentum.
I like that he lost just because I think Bobby Roode has a lot more.
Oh, definitely.
Steam, so I think the right person. It was like tonight. I think Alexa, you know, as much as, you know, we criticize the 50-50 booking, they're not doing that with Alexa, and it's working. She's getting over. I mean, she's becoming a big star. So I agreed with that ending. I just was surprised at how they've given Bayley nothing over the last month.
Even though you want the fans booing her?
Right.
Yeah.
I mean, well,
You know what I mean?
whenever they need to change her to a babyface, it'll be easy to do.
Yeah.
Oh, yeah. Hopefully she doesn't change, though. And oh, God.
Bring back the original music from NXT, the glitter sparkle.
Did you remember that?
Somebody in the chats, Keith Hellebrand, is saying that his dad, Keith, was your TNA pyro guy. He's a big fan.
Yeah, Keith Boogie. Keith Boogie was my pyro guy. Yeah, that's what's up, dude?
Nice.
Good people. Very good family. Yeah.
Someone's asking if Apollo Crews will ever become a monster heel with Titus O'Neil.
Will who be what? Say that again?
Will Apollo Crews be a monster heel with Titus O'Neil?
A monster heel where? In the midget division? The dude's 4'5".
Yeah, no.
I'm a huge fan of him, by the way, but monster heel, guys. Brock Lesnar. Let me give you the definition. Brock Lesnar is a monster heel. Braun Strowman. When I'm a heel, I'm a monster heel. Big Show, he's a monster heel. Not 4'5" jacked up dude.
Yeah, sadly, I don't see him going past the gosh, what level would we put it? Like
he went for the IC title last year.
Intercontinental.
Yeah, he'd probably be on that level at best.
Although it would be pretty funny if he started coming out every week and start choke slamming people like 911 and stuff like that, and totally prove everything I say wrong.
Yeah, I mean he's strong as hell, and he's probably about this. He's probably taller than Taz was, right?
It's a good question.
Probably around the same height.
Probably right around the same.
So if you're booked right, you can make it work. I mean, Paul Heyman,
Guys, Apollo Crews is 6'1".
No,
according to the internet.
Yeah, internet. There's some internet sites that say I'm 7'2". Yeah,
70 according to Bing, Matt. Don't ask why I'm using Bing, but
so, hey, Matt, a lot of people have been asking.
6'11" and a half, so they're wrong.
A lot of people have been asking this because of just how the Raw ratings have been getting. They're at all-time lows now, pretty much. Last Monday's was, I think, the second lowest Raw ever, and
wow,
and that's
really?
The other Raw was the one against the Clinton-Trump debate. I think there was one more, but that was like against Nitro and everything. So.
Ever of all time?
All time. So some people, so the name Vince Russo starts popping up. You think Vince Russo would be an asset to WWE at this point? Is WWE that desperate?
I don't think they'll work with him. Maybe I've been proved they seem to work with everybody. Actually, I think it's impossible to be completely blacklisted from that company anymore if you can provide them some value. If you can provide them some value and they see it, then yeah, I could see him working there. But I don't know what the makeup is there anymore. I don't know who he has heat with, who he doesn't. I don't know. I also know that today's a different day and age with wrestling. And there really is no more booking. It's more writing. It's more writers. And it's not just one person's opinion, it's multiple. And granted, it funnels through Vince at the end of the day, but pretty soon when he's gone, it won't be like that. And it's, so I don't know. I think I don't see it. No.
Yeah, I think they could benefit a lot from having someone like Vince in theory, not as a head writer, but someone on, that could throw ideas, come up with storylines. But with the way it is now, with how corporate it is, I don't think they want people necessarily thinking outside the box. I think they almost want this formula that they can just easily move people in and out of. It's like when you're creating a franchise for a restaurant, and you just want them all to be the same. So that way, if anything happens at the top or with top management, you still got it going and it just keeps going. The only problem being right now with what they have is it's losing popularity and ratings, and that's it's an issue. At some point, if the ratings keep dropping like this, and when football season starts, usually it's a 10% drop. It might be more this year because the ratings have dropped a lot more this year than previous years, percentage-wise. And so you drop another 10%, your ratings are in the 1.6, 1.8 every week, and that's rough. Yeah, and their viewership,
really?
You start hovering around the low to mid 2 million mark, 2 to 2.5, and that's just, I mean, if USA Network, if they got a few hit shows, I wouldn't see them wanting to spend a ton of money on WWE when the contract comes up. It's too early to say now. We still got a couple of years, but and USA doesn't have those hit shows, so WWE is very important to them. But I mean, they paid a ton of money, and those ratings keep dropping.
Yeah.
God, I would love to see him bring in. I mean, we're such a great age of TV right now, and I know they've tried this before, but bring in some TV guys.
Well, they do.
But I thought it was more reality. I've seen like their job posts is more people with reality backgrounds.
You hear these bookers when they come out, when they leave WWE and they do these interviews, and they'll tell you all these great ideas they have that just get shut down. And by the end, they're like, all right, we'll just give Vince what he wants. And they just give the same thing every week.
What do you make of Waltman's comment that Road Dogg's running SmackDown without Vince's interference?
He probably.
I never even heard that.
Waltman said that on a podcast. Sean Waltman said that. Now, granted, they're friends. He might have just been putting Road Dogg over more. I mean, Road Dogg's running it with what's his face that used to be in NXT. But
I believe it.
Yeah,
I'm sure Vince is not near as hands-on with SmackDown as he is with Raw, and that's why Raw gets more attention. And whenever they do these, that's why
more attention, not necessarily a good thing.
Right. So the big stars, when they come back, the guys that Vince sees as big stars, they go to Raw because that's Vince's, it's got his fingerprints on them.
Yeah. It's tough.
People asking what Rusev will be doing.
It's on SmackDown, right?
Yeah.
That's a good question.
Well, it looked like he was supposed to be in the spot that Jinder is in right now. Because he had said how he demands a title shot and he won't come back if he doesn't get a title shot right away. And they just dropped it completely once they went with Jinder as world champ. So
can I defend Jinder one more time?
Absolutely.
Just go for it.
I read something about some all natural bodybuilder. That's an oxymoron, by the way. Now there is a real such thing. Talking about how he can tell all the telltale signs on how Jinder Mahal is taking enhancements. Okay.
Mm-hmm.
Put this out there one last time to anybody that thinks this is true. I want you to go back and I want you to come up with all of the stars that failed this wellness policy. But there's so many guys that failed this thing. Okay. That lost time, that they had to take the title belts off of. They had to do all types of things to recreate their TV because these guys either were on the gas or they were a part of back in the day that pharmacy, Signature Pharmacy bust that got screwed, that all the guys got screwed through, where they were ordering the steroids online. I don't know if you guys remember that, but a bunch of things have happened over time that cost a lot of guys time, but more importantly, WWE, their storylines. Mm-hmm. We're talking heavyweight champions here. So I'm just trying to make sure I'm understanding this correctly. Out of them all, out of Batista, Cena, all of them, right? We're going to let Jinder Mahal take steroids.
No, I agree.
Are you high? Are you high? It makes no sense at all. It makes no sense at all. And I could tell you right now, I'm drug-free myself. And I look better than I've ever looked as well. Not like Jinder, but good nonetheless. Because 1,000,000%, once you really do fine-tune your diet, I'm talking where you don't cheat at all. Okay, where you're counting every single carb and protein you're taking in. I haven't had a carb since 1:30 p.m. this afternoon because I'm getting ready for a physique show. Things like that. Absolutely do that for your body. And if you saw Jinder in person, you'd actually think he was skinny. TV, the more ripped and cut you look, makes you look bigger. Okay, I know that for a fact. If you saw Jinder in person, you would in clothes, you would think he looked skinny. Until you see him take his shirt off and you see all the veins. You wouldn't think he was very muscular, I promise you. you would think he's very vascular and skinny, but on TV, he looks awesome because that's what TV does. And so, a long story short, the dude is clean. WWE is not going above and beyond the call of duty to get this guy that they were having to do jobs, if you will, or enhancement match losses over and over, to let him all of a sudden start taking steroids. It makes no sense whatsoever.
Okay, so I mean, I agree with you. I don't think, because Jinder, they didn't start pushing until like a month ago, right? And he was a job guy before that with this crazy physique. So I agree, they're not going to be like, oh, Jinder will forget, but all our top guys, we're going to be testing them. And I'm not saying Jinder's on anything. I will say, though, that Ryback had said in the past that he was on TRT with WWE. He had a TUE exemption. So you could get like exemptions for TRT in WWE.
And if you listen to the rest of that, like he would tell you, you don't get anything bodybuilding purpose-wise out of that. All that is same with me. I'm 40 years old. I technically should be on that. I'm not, because I get tested for my bodybuilding competition. But nonetheless, my point is, when you hit 26 to either 26 or 30 years old, you're allowed to go, not allowed to, you can go to a hormone replacement therapy, and you can get like 1 cc, 1 injection or something like that a week of testosterone. Not the stuff that's going to make you big and strong, but the kind that's going to make your dick work, if you will. What it's for. That's what TRT is really for. And it helps with like.
But it doesn't help if you're working out with your physique, right?
No, absolutely no. I'll argue that to my deathbed. I've done this stuff, so I could talk on it. But I 100% no. If somebody is doing just like half a cc of testosterone a week, it will literally. I know for me it wouldn't do anything. I know for me it wouldn't do jack. I would need like 3 cc's, 4 cc's, and whatever the hell it was I used to have to take back in the day. But it's the TRT is really for, because the guy's stuff is not working correctly because of years of steroid abuse generally. And so they have to take this to get his guys working again.
But what about
to where at the normal, hang on, to the normal level that you and Glenn have, for instance, right? Because you guys have never touched steroids, so you don't have this problem. That's what it's for. That's what Ryback took it for. I'll argue with him all day that he's wrong. He did not get any bodybuilding results from taking just 1 cc or whatever it was a week. No way.
So you're saying Ryback had that insanely huge physique all naturally, and the TRT did nothing for it?
Oh, I'm not saying that at all. I have no idea his story at all. I'm saying the TRT itself is not responsible for that physique. Hell no. Okay,
what about like Vitor Belfort? You saw him when he was on TRT. And
I don't even know what he looks like.
Okay, he's a UFC fighter, like a legend, jacked as hell. When he was on TRT, they stopped the TRT, allowing them to use TRT, and then he's got like a dad body now. So I mean, is it like if you do more than that 1 cc, does it, have an effect on your?
To each their own. Maybe some small guy 1 cc does do a lot. I'm speaking just from my own experience in the past, and TRT is not meant for you to become some big jacked up dude. It's not. You can call any doctor and ask them that. That's not the intent. Now, if you have a doctor friend or buddy or whatever, and he's putting it under the guise of TRT, but he's giving you like 4 cc's a week or something like that, first of all, he'll be out of business. You can't do that crap anymore. And 2, the WWE wellness policy will never allow it to happen, because they'll see the script and they'll go, dude, Ryback, or whoever's bringing this script to him, to whoever the doctor is, he'll say, dude, your levels are at this. You can only be at this. You can only move up to this level. Dude, you're taking 4 cc, so your levels are way through the roof. Guess what? You're suspended.
So
that's how it works.
So you think Jinder could get his physique, how he looks right now, all natural?
I'm telling you, he's not. Yes, absolutely, I do. I think he's taken tons of different supplements and things of that nature. I don't think he's just waking up in the morning and going to the gym and that's it. It is the diet. I don't know how many. I'll post something. Go on my Instagram page. Tell all your fans watchers, go on my Instagram page. Look at my old wrestling photos. I'm being serious. And look at me today. I ain't taking crap. I'm 40 years old. Why would I want to put that shit in my body to begin with? I'm a dad of a 3-year-old autistic kid. That's my job. That's who I am today. So I'm supposed to be the most jacked up dad in the world. Why would I put that crap in my system? So my point is, I'm clean. Look at the difference between my physique. I've lost weight. I've gotten more shredded, and it's 1,000,000% due to a diet. 1,000,000%. I don't come off my diet. It's not just it's not a diet like drinking Diet Coke. It's the most disciplined diet in the world.
Yeah.
And to my understanding, I get my meals from the same place that Jinder does. I just found out. This place called Nutrition Solutions down in Tampa. And they were telling me that he comes down there and works out with them at the workout facility, and he's just an animal as far as just his dieting is just supposedly he's not like had a carb in like friggin' years. Like it's insane the amount of like devotion he's put into this. And I'd hate to see somebody keep getting shit on by people that just want to keep throwing crap his way when they don't know their ass from their elbow. Just because Ryback is big and jacked and he's taking steroids doesn't mean he knows everything there is to know about it.
And
I've been in the game longer and I've done it as well early on.
And you're assuming that Glenn hasn't done steroids, but we don't know.
You know, there was a time when I was into lifting weights, but that was just creatine and every terrible sub, like what was it back? Hydroxycut back in the day.
I used to use like weight gainer and stuff like that.
Oh, Hydroxycut was the shit, man. I mean, that was awesome, but it was basically like herbal speed. I mean, it was just crazy. But
there's always some high school football player.
Exactly. That's what I always say.
Take it on spring football, and they take it off the market.
Yeah, some girl took it, ran on a treadmill for 100 hours, and her heart exploded.
But the last question regarding the Jinder thing for you, Matt, because a lot of people are bringing this up. People are saying that Jinder has, was it gyno or gyno? What's it called?
Yeah, I saw that picture from that article too, dude. Then I have it too. Then I must have it too. Then, no, gyno. We'll go back and look at The Rock before he had his gyno surgery. That's gyno. Remember when Rock used to wear that jersey?
Yeah,
versus McFoley for a while there. It's because he was just getting that surgery done on his pecs.
Right.
Smart move. Now he's in Hollywood. I can't think of a wrestler that doesn't have it, honestly. I can't. Not that one that has any kind of muscle to him. But I mean, I'll be honest, that could have maybe Jinder used back in the day. I don't know. I do know this. WWE is not making an exception for Jinder Mahal while failing Randy Orton, while almost failing Batista a couple times, but didn't happen.
Failing Jeff Hardy twice.
Come on. Use logic.
You just have to figure before Creative decided to put the championship on Jinder Mahal, they ran him through every test.
Oh, God. You had to have.
Yeah.
But he did look very different when he first came back to now.
Yeah, he talked about that in Jericho's podcast, though.
Yeah.
But I heard that too. It sounded like he was like drinking and doing all this bad stuff when he was released.
Yeah.
Went through some depression and stuff, I guess. Like, so here's a good story, and I don't know this guy. I've never even had a conversation with him. I just hate to see, like, here's the American dream. The dude, went from fucking, I hate using this word, but went from jobber to main event champion. Like, that doesn't happen, guys. So why can't we just be happy instead of throwing stones at the dude?
Yeah.
Do you know what I mean? He's not doing anything wrong, and he's not taking shit. I'll take that to my grave. If he's taking something, it is something like so minute that doesn't even hardly do anything, but yet it'll still pop up on a test. I'll give you an example. If I took a Winstrol tab, edited and ripped, right? If I were to take that, I don't know, 2 days from like today, and that somehow I just took it today and that's it. And that something like that would pop up on my test, even though it didn't do shit for me because I only took it for 1 day. Like, I could see something ridiculous like that happening. But again, it does not control the muscle he's put on. That's what I'm trying to say. The TRT, if that's what he's taking, which we don't even know that. If he is, it is not 100% responsible for that muscle. It is that dude busted his ass and really dieting in. And I know people don't want to believe that, but I promise you, if you did it yourself, you would see it. You really, really would.
All right, let's get a couple more of these questions here. Someone's asking, Matt, which veteran helped you the most in your wrestling career?
Kevin Nash, Kurt Angle, Nova. You guys know Nova?
Yeah.
Simon Dean. Kevin Nash, definitely Kurt Angle. Probably the most.
Someone's also asking, how much of a ratings increase would WWE get if CM Punk returned? First, Punk's under contract with the UFC. The things have gotten so bad with the WWE and CM Punk. I don't see that ever happening anytime soon, not in the near future. But
Really?
it would be a bump for a few weeks, I think, and then you probably get him back to where he was. You know, I mean, he'd be a top guy, but I don't think they'd allow him to run rampant. And you know, we saw what they did when he did that first time, when he did that big, Mike, what was it, the pipe bomb promo, and everyone was talking about it for a week or two, and then they just kind of booked him back to where, where he was. So he'd be a top guy and make a difference for a few weeks, but that's about it. Their trouble is not the stars. Their trouble is their booking and creative and their promos and nothing seeming organic, and their formula that's every week for, you're watching 8 hours of the same formula every week. So
that's their one problem.
That's their one problem.
And he has a name. No.
Matt, are you going to be at the next Impact tapings? Not I know the indie ones are going to be airing for the next few weeks, but the one after that.
Oh, the ones in July? Not sure yet. I got my Physique show though at the end of is July 22nd, so it would be kind of cutting it close.
Yeah.
So we shall see.
All right. One last one. Glenn, you want to pick?
Yeah.
What else do we got? People are asking about, what's the deal with Bray losing all the time? We've asked that question here, man. I think that's just killed his credibility. You know, he's got to get some wins.
Yeah, he does.
Yeah, he's got to have. I've said this before. I think he needs to turn babyface and change his promos around a little bit. I think he's just stale. He's kind of been doing the same thing for a long time, and he's not. You
don't think he needs a gimmick overhaul, right?
No. I think you keep the character, but tweak it. Like Undertaker would always tweak it, right? You look at Undertaker when he started, and he was this zombie, who.
When he had the tie,
wasn't it like
he was like a.
Wasn't it like 10 years later though?
Oh, American Badass.
Well, he slowly started, wrestling, as opposed to, he was really limited with that gimmick at the beginning, and then you just see how much he evolved while sticking with that character, and I think Bray could do that too. I mean, he's been doing this character for like 5 years now, 4 years.
Put him in a suit, man. Put him in a suit. Tighten up the hair a bit. Have him, do sort of the Southern preacher gimmick.
I don't know. Don't do that.
No, but
how much that did to Devon Dudley.
Or like he's a motivational speaker, like he's trying to, sell you Amway or something like that.
You don't want to you don't want to turn him into comedy. And we keep him serious.
Turn him into comedy. Yeah, wait, he's not comedy now with all that nonsense.
People don't laugh at him.
But people are laughing, but they don't take him seriously either.
They take him more seriously than other people. He gets pops and stuff.
Yeah, he just needs the fan participation of holding up their phone.
I don't laugh at him.
I don't laugh, but I don't take him serious with what he's saying. I think there's no.
I think his promos need some tweaking. I agree with that, but
some substance, not just buzzwords.
Yeah. All right.
We'll see tomorrow night on Raw. It's a new beginning. Hopefully, fingers crossed. Everything changes in 24 hours, guys. Okay, Matt, anything you want to plug aside from your Instagram before we take it home here?
Nope, I am good.
Cool, man. Dropping some truth bombs tonight about Jinder Mahal and the bodybuilding regimen. Love that. So until next time, folks, we'll see you back here after Monday Night Raw. I'm Glenn Rubenstein on behalf of myself, Mr. Matt Morgan, and Raj Giri. We'll see you back here on the Wrestling Inc. podcast. Take care.
No,